the 8-sided figure below, adjacent sides meet at right angles and the lengths given are in meters. What is the perimeter of the figure? So you need to find the perimeter. That's the distance around the outside of the object. Now, even though these sides are cut out, indented, whatever you want to call it, each distance is still 20 all the way around the object. So 20 for each side of this object. And you have 4 20s there. 4 times 20 is going to be 80. So the perimeter of this object, even though the sides are cut out and indented, again, each vertical distance is 20, each horizontal distance is 20. 4 of those 20s make 80. Letter B. The sum of the real numbers x and y is 11. Their difference is 5. What is the value of x times y? So the sum of the real numbers is 11. That means x plus y equals 11. Their difference, which means subtract, is 5. So x minus y equals 5. You need to find the value of x, y. Well, to find the value of x times y, you need to find x and y. So to get the value of x and y, we're going to solve this system of 2 equations. And you can see right now, if you just add these 2 equations together the way they are, the y's would cancel. So if you add the x and x, that is 2x. Add the y and negative y, that would be 0. And add 11 and 5, that is 16. So you have 2x equals 16, divide each side by 2, x equals 8. So right there, you know the value of x is 8. You could take that 8 and substitute it back into one of those equations. It doesn't matter which one. I'd probably do one where the y is already positive so you don't have to deal with that negative y when you go to solve for y. So I'm going to substitute that 8 back into that first equation, x plus y equals 11. Replace the x with the 8. Now you have 8 plus y equals 11. So to find the value of y, subtract 8 from each side, and y equals 3. So x is 8, y is 3. We need to find the value of x times y. Well, if x is 8, y is 3, x times y, or 8 times 3, is going to be 24, and that is letter J. For all x, 3x plus 7 squared is which of these? I'll tell you what the wrong answer is. It's 9x squared plus 49. A lot of people want to do that with this. They want to square the 3x and get 9x squared, and they want to square the 7 and get 49. That's not how this works. Whenever you square something, anything, you're multiplying it by itself. So you need to take that 3x plus 7 and multiply it by itself. Now you know what to do. It's the FOIL method of distributive property. FOIL method of distributive property. Take the first term, so you're distributing the 3x to the 3x, that is 9x squared. Distribute the 3x to the 7, or those are the outer terms of the FOIL method. That's 21x. Then distribute the 7 to the 3x, or the inner terms of the FOIL method, is 21x. And distribute the 7 to the 7, that is 49. The FOIL method and distributive property are the same thing when you're multiplying 2 binomials. The first outer inner last terms, it's the same as distributing the 3x to the second set of parentheses, then distributing the 7 through the second set of parentheses. Now go back through and combine the like terms, 21x and 21x. If you combine those in the middle, that is 42x. So when you square 3x plus 7, it's not 9x squared plus 49. A lot of people think it is. It's actually 9x squared plus 42x plus 49. Letter E. What is the slope of the line through the points negative 5, 2, and 6, 7 in standard xy coordinate plane? Slope of the line. Everybody tries to remember the formula. You don't need the formula. Get over it. Subtract the y's, put that over subtracting the x's, because slope stands for rise over run. It's a change in y over change in x. You don't need to write any formula now. Just subtract the y's, take 7 minus 2, put that over the subtraction of the x's, 6 minus a negative 5. Forget the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You don't need that formula. It's the change in y over the change in x. Remember it that way. Rise over run. So again, we're taking 7 minus 2 over 6 minus a negative 5. 7 minus 2 is 5. 6 minus a negative 5, watch your signs. It's going to be 6 plus 5, which is 11. So 5 over 11 is the slope. That means that line rises 5 for every 11 that it runs to the right. Letter J. When 1/3 k plus 1/4 k equals 1, what is the value of k? As you probably realize, you have to solve this equation for k. And then you probably panic because you see all the fractions. Here's a little tip. You want to get rid of the fractions when you're solving an equation? Multiply the entire equation by the least common denominator of all the terms. So look at those terms, decide what the least common denominator is. It's 12. So we're going to multiply the entire equation by 12, and that will make the fractions magically disappear. Multiply each term by 12. So if you take 12 times 1/3 k, that's going to be 4k. Take 12 times 1/4 k, that's 3k. And then don't forget on the end, on the other side of the equal sign, take 12 times 1, and that is 12. Notice the fractions are gone. That's a good thing. because this equation is real easy to solve now. 4k plus 3k, if you combine the like terms, that is 7k. Then divide each side by 7. If you do that, get k equals 12 over 7. So the value of k here is 12 over 7, and that is letter B. What is the length and feet of the hypotenuse of a right triangle with legs that are 6 feet long and 7 feet long, respectively? There's your right triangle. It does help to draw these out when you're solving these. The hypotenuse is the side across from the right angle. So we're looking for the length of this hypotenuse, the side across from the right angle. The legs are the two sides that are not the hypotenuse in a right triangle. So 6 and 7 are the legs. We need to find the length of the hypotenuse. Your old friend, the Pythagorean Theorem, is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A and b are the legs. So 6 and 7 are the legs. Those go in as a and b. It does not matter which one goes in for a and which one goes in for b. What does matter is that the hypotenuse is c. So 6 squared plus 7 squared equals c squared. That'd be 36 plus 49 equals c squared. Add 36 and 49. If you do that, you get 85. And then you need to solve for c. Take the square root of each side. The square root of c squared is c. And the square root of 85 is letter G. Hexagon, that is a six-sided figure A, B, C, D, E, F, shown below, was drawn on a grid with unit squares. Each vertex is at the intersection of two grid lines. What is the area of the hexagon in square units? So you need to find the area of this hexagon. I would just section it off and count up the number of squares. Everybody can count squares. There's 10 squares there. Another one. And then you have these 6. And then you have this one down here in the corner. Then you have these triangles to deal with. Well, that triangle is half of that square, so that's half a square unit. There's another half square unit. And then you have this one. Well, the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Or, in this case, 1 times 2 divided by 2. That's going to be 1 square unit. And then add up the square units you have. You have 10, 6, 1, 1, 1 half, and 1 again. So if you add those up, it's going to be 20 square units, and that is letter C for the area. In the figure below, AD is perpendicular to BD. You can see that by the right angle. AC is perpendicular to BC. Again, you can see that by the right angle. And AD is congruent to BC. So these two sides and the ends are congruent. Which of the following congruence is not necessarily true? Well, if everything given to you, you're basically looking at two congruent triangles. So the only thing that can't be proven true is that AD being congruent to AE, there is nothing given to you there that states or stands behind that being true. So AD is congruent to AE. That is not necessarily true based on everything that is given to you. Letter G. The teacher went into discount music to price CDs. All CDs were discounted 23% off the marked price. The teacher wanted to program her calculator so she could input the marked price, and the discounted price would be the output. Which of the following is an expression for the discounted price on a marked price of P dollars? So to get the discounted price, you're going to take the marked price minus the marked price times that percent discount. So the marked price minus the marked price times a percent discount, that will give you the discounted price. So in this case, that would be P minus the percent discount is 23%. As a decimal, it's going to be 0.23. So again, we're taking the marked price P minus the marked price times the percent discount. The percent discount is 23, so that's 0.23 times P, and that is letter A. In the figure below, AD, B, and G are collinear. That means they all lie in a straight line. If angle CAD measures 76, angle BCD measures 47, and angle CBG measures 140, what is the degree measure of angle ACD? So this small angle right there next to the 47. Take what's given to you and work your way around to get that. So if this angle right here is 140, the one right next to it would be 40 because angles in a straight line add up to 180. So if that's 140, that angle right there is 40. Now you know this angle up here is 47. You know this angle is 40, and you also know angles of a triangle add up to 180. So add the 47 and the 40 and subtract from 180. That will give you this angle right here, which is 93. Now, if you know that angle, you can go right next to it because, again, angles in a straight line add up to 180. So if that angle right there is 93, the angle right next to it would be 180 minus 93, and that is 87. So now you know this is 87. That angle is 76. You can find the third angle of that triangle because angles of a triangle, again, add up to 180. These two angles are given to you now, 87 and 76. Add those together and subtract from 180. That means this missing angle here will be 17. letter H.